Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to our third tutorial with Style3D software. On this tutorial, we will be creating our first Barbie dress. So the idea is having one block. How can you create a variety of different dresses? The inspiration is the Barbie film. We have the inspiration image and the color palette that we will be using. I'm working with Style3D software. The link of the website you will find below on the comments. When you enter the website, you can download the studio here, download the software, and you get 3 months free trial where you can practice and explore the possibilities of 3D creations. You also can find a variety of different designers that are using currently this software, and they're showcasing their work. And also you can be one of those designers in the future. So let's get started. I have already prepared my dress from the tutorial one. As you can see, I took off the textile and also kept only the shell. Took off the inner layers. The other thing is I deleted the top stitches, which you can just basically select, shift press, selecting all the lines, and then just delete. Okay. And also I won't need the buttons, so I will just select the buttons and delete them. And also I will not need the straps for this style. Straighten. The other thing I want to do, I'm gonna get rid of these seams. I need just a basic shape, so I'm selecting this line and shift, selecting the other side, and right click, I merge those panels. And I do the same on my body. I right click, merge my panels. I'm gonna select those points and I just right click, convert to curve points because I'm not needing them. I'm gonna select this one and delete it. I'm not gonna. Also, I'd like to change my avatar. I would like it to be, I want her to look a little bit more closer to the Barbie. I think Naomi is closer. Any changes you want to do, fabric, textile, avatar, you have the window of the property editor on your right hand side, and from where you can actually browse and find like the shoes, the avatar, the hair. I'm selecting the hair. I already created a big library, but you have the resource library where you can click here, and if you are on your avatar garment at the moment, avatar, okay, female, and I want to have the hair option, and then I click on the cloud, and you will have a window opening where you can find anything related to avatar. That could be hair, poses, characters. You just click to select and download it to create your library. Just make sure each time if you want to download the hair, you better to open to be on the hair file. So I already have created big library, so I want to change, and I maybe want to put this hair. Double click. Yeah, that's great. Now, next thing, because it's a bandeau dress, I want to make sure I attach my dress to the avatar. I'm going to measure, creating tape. Those tapes are from my previous dress. I'm not going to need them, so I will need to delete them. Edit avatar tape, delete, click on it, delete. You just next I will go and attach to avatar tape, and what I'm doing, I'm gonna click on my line of the pattern and double click on the line of the avatar I drew, and it gets green, so that's mean the job is done. Click and double click. Now when I press stimulate, it's connected to my avatar at the moment. So next thing, let's freeze my top. Freeze. Let's save my file. Save as a project, and we go tutorial 3. Just want to save it, overwrite it. Okay. Let's work with my skirt now. I need to add a point. I go here, 6 centimeters, maybe 5, no 6. Enter, and delete this point. 15. The other thing I need to do, this is the lines I had as a guide originally, so I'm gonna move them further up. Actually, before I do so, what I like to do, just to make sure I know where I started and where I'm going, I'm gonna select this panel, right click, and I need to clone as a reference line. So anything I do, I can see below my original pattern. Where about is it? So here we go. Just gonna move it slightly. Now I'm getting the pen and I draw. Okay, dot higher. So now shift, I select and I delete and cut. And following, I'm just gonna take this panel. Let me see what I have left, about 3 centimeters. Okay. So I select those panels, shift, and I delete them. Next, I would like to make my first frill on the skirt. I select the rectangle, right click, I've got the window, and 295, maybe my 13. All right. Next, I like to add a little point and move that towards here to be another 5 or 6. Edit curvature. This is going to be like that. Next thing, I'm gonna stitch that panel here. What I notice is that when I did those cuts, I lost the center back stitching, so I'm just gonna stitch my center back again. All right, now this is going here, and I'm gonna straighten, and let's stitch it. Done. Also, what I see is that I lost my seam here. So from the center front, and from the center front comes up to here, and then following, I'm gonna take and stitch this little bit from here to, where is it going? Here. 2, I see the front. Nice. This is my first frill. Control S, we save my project again. Now I symmetric pattern with seam. I copy paste and I here, and I'm gonna make this -1. All right. So now I need to get rid of this panel. I don't really need it down there. I'm gonna click, hide the 3D pattern, and I need approximately to see where. First thing, because those frills are linked, we need to select, right click, remove linked editing, and now I have the pen and I will draw, I think, somewhere here and here. Cut, delete, and stitch. approximately I can see that is here, all the way here. Okay, this is it. Now we stitch my center back frill. Done. Next, next I want to add, let's unstraighten all this and let's make this 0. What I want to do is select, shift select and add seam taping at 1 cm, maybe 1.5. Yeah, and also I want to do the same at the edges of my frill. Add seam taping, leave it 1 centimeter here, and now let's solidify this panel. That's it. You see my edges here are much more smoother, it's nicer. So now let's add some top frill on my bust. I want to have a rectangle. I'm going 295 and also 13. Maybe now, maybe less, 270. Oops, 270 and 13. Okay. I do the same, I add a little point here, and I'm gonna move my center front to make it smaller. Approximately I estimate 3 centimeters for curvature. Now I want the frill to start from center front and stop somewhere here, so my armhole is free for her to move, and same at the back. That's why I'm gonna need, firstly I'm gonna get rid of these notches that is belong to our previous style. Delete, right click, and you have the little window delete is showing up. Right click, delete, right click, delete. Now approximately I will add point from the armhole, from the side seam towards the center front, approximately 6.5 to 7. I'm gonna make it 7, maybe 6.5, maybe even 6. 6. Let's make it 6. Okay, and I do the same here, 6. Okay, so this is where it's gonna start my frill to be stitched. And I need to leave the space here as well. So let's say from center front would need to be, I'm gonna need about 80 centimeters to keep for the gather. And I do the same, right click and the window showing up, and you actually put the centimeters you want this dot to be from the center back, and here I will go to 75. Okay, so now where is my panel? The panel is here. I'm gonna keep it flat. Okay, I'm just gonna use the you click on the arrangement points just to make the placement, and then because it can come curved, but at this moment I don't need it, I'm just gonna go to the arrange and arrange it to be flat. You also have the position of X and Y where you can play, like you see, where it's gonna be. That's just also when it's curved, you play the offset. Just depends what panel you have and what the positioning you need to have for this particular panel. At the moment I want it to be flat. Let's go and stitch this panel. Center front here, center front up to here, center back up to here. And on this panel here I want it to be elasticated, so I'm going to use the elastic. Right? The next thing, I prefer it to be straightened. Now I will freeze my bottom skirt and freeze, and I will unfreeze my top part. I'm not gonna need any more the arrangement points, and then put stipulate. Let me see why I lost my my attachment to the avatar. It's no longer functioning. Let's click and double click and then click and double click. For some reason I lost it, so let's go again. Now you see how convenient it is for my bust to be attached to the avatar. Okay, this and this, double click. Here we go. Now I will select this panel and I will play my elastic how I want it to be. Maybe a little bit more. Here you play with the ratio and the strength of the elastic, okay? I think there is also another side which is not attached to the avatar. Something is happening and for some reason it will not. Alright. And here we need as well. It keeps. Okay. Let's see that here as well. It is not really. Oh, because I had it in. Okay, now I see. Because I had this, you see, and you need to make sure you select all the segments, because apparently. Okay, here we go. This is my frill from one side. Now let's go. Oops, select. Now let's make this symmetric pattern with seam and stimulate again. The center back here, I'm gonna leave it nice. Control S, make sure you save it. I think I see my center front, it's quite big. Now I'm gonna draw a line here because I want to attach my center. Another line here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select that side and then shift, and this is it. So this is my frill, my top frill. Next, let's select this frill, make it 8, unfreeze and straighten, sorry. Stimulate. So you see how soft and beautiful it becomes. And same I will be doing for those frills. I'm gonna unfreeze them. I'm gonna add 8 and let's stimulate, and you can see how beautiful the feathers look like now. Next, let's make my body. Let's make a double layer. I'm gonna copy and generate lining inside. It's making it more structured, more realistic, the final look you will see. You see? It's actually really like nice. Next, I want my top part to be bonded. And now it's even more nicer and structured. Next, let's see what we do with this fabric. I want to basically add from the library. I already selected, downloaded the textile I'm going to be using, but you can, at the beginning, your library will be quite small. You go, as we said before, you select the fabric, you go to this little cloud, download online assets, and when you click on it, you will have a big selection of different fabrics, and you just click here and you download, like click and you download the asset and you create your own library. I have already made my library, so I will just double click to do. If you go file, import, import a sketch, you can import your, make it bigger, and now if if you go here, default fabric, let's use this. You click the color, you select the pipe, you click, and then you have this color here, add, and you add it to your library. So that way I created already the library that I will be using. And then next you just delete. Again, let's go back to the main fabric we want to use. And let's change, let's start with the darker one. The darker one, definitely I want it to be this dark. This one, I want it to be a little bit lighter. This one, I would like it to be maybe slightly pinky. Maybe this, or maybe that better. Okay. And this is the gray, which I want it to be apply. So now I recolor my swatch, and I select the patterns I want it to be on this print, and I assign to pattern. My frills, and actually the waistband as well, I want to select the waistband and assign to pattern. Now this, I want it to be a pink. Let's see what we've done. And straighten and solidify. Control S. So now let's see what we've done. I don't want to be seeing my bonding. Also on the bonding, what I wanted to say is depends, we will go through that in the future. I'm using the default preset, but you have this, the different versions and variety of the fuse in terms of, depends the fabrics you're using, you will make the selection of the best suitable for it fusing. At the moment, we will not go through that. Now, I like to play a little bit with my check print. I go assets, I select edit texture, and I can increase, pull here, you see? I can even rotate, and I can actually increase my check. I want it to be quite chunky and big, so let's not go for small. Also, you can select, you can play with the grain line. Like here is okay, but here I can actually make a little placement. This is alright, this is next. Let's go here, and also I want to play a little bit because I see my texture here, it's quite large. Maybe I go slightly smaller, not so chunky. Control S, let's see what we've done so far. Now next let's add the hem. From my previous dress, I have the default stitch only. Okay, I'm gonna need to add one more stitch. So we go to the top stitch library and we select the bar tack. I want to have this look as like super overlocker on the edges. Next, offset, I want it to be 0. I want it to be just on the line. Segment top stitch. Let's place okay, and center back as well. And let's zoom in and see what do we have here. Back to the bar tack. Let's make it 0.25. slightly wider, and let's change the color as well to maybe pinkish, a little bit more lighter. Okay, and I want it to be silk, shiny. It will be more visible on the rendering. I'm pretty much done with my dress. I want to add some decorations. Firstly, let's change the shoes, as I said. So I go here. Same, you have a very small selection at the beginning when you just download the software, but as I said, again, you go to the library, you click the little box, you go to the avatar, female, depends what you working child, boy, and you go to shoes, and you see I already have like downloaded a few different styles. If you don't have those, you go to the cloud and you download. Let's place those shoes. I like the little ball. Now I want to change my color. Of course, I don't want them to be black. So here I go and I make them. I want them to be leather, maybe actually shiny. Let's make them shiny. And also, let's change this line. Let's make it pinky. Okay. Shiny. Let's change this. Shiny. Let's make it silk, the previous one, so maybe later, yeah, silk also. Silk. The inside red is also gonna be pink. Okay, this is the heel. It's gonna be purple. Now my bow is going to be pinky. Okay. I'm not sure if I want to have a glass render. Maybe leave it and we'll see. That is what I've done so far. Control S, let's save it. Let me see a little bit on my skirt. I'm a bit concerned about my this check how it's going, so I'm maybe just gonna place it to be straight at the center front. This is my main concern. That's mean my grain line will be a little bit on the bias. That's it. I think that's better. Control S, let's save this. The other thing I like to check, maybe we add some puckering as well. But the frills, let me see. Segment puckering, and I add here, 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 and here. And I want this to fall. This puckering to be cotton, yes. And let's zoom in a little bit. I want it to be length 25 meter. With 5. A little bit of density, slightly. So now let's pick my pose. How I want my Barbie to be. Oh, sorry, female pose. Again, here I have a huge selection that I already downloaded. You can go to the little cloud and download your own poses that you like to have. So I think I'm gonna go for this pose, but I will change it a little bit. So let's firstly straight. To change the pose, you have to press stimulation and then you double click on the pose. So it starts changing my pose. Let's wait for it to happen. You can create your own poses, but I think the Style3D have such a big library. So I'm selecting the joints. I want to slightly play with my pose. You click on the joints and you basically can rotate. I want her to be more cutie, the pose that she will have. And also on this hand to be slightly more inside, not so much, maybe a little bit, and a little bit Now the other thing you can do, if you select the avatar, if you go to the library, avatar, female, you have also emotions. So basically you can play around and change. Oh, this one is nice. Let's give a smile. Now let's be. What I want to keep, I want to unstraighten and stimulate again. So everything take the more natural shape. Also, let me see, maybe. Let me see what is happening here, because now she took the pose and I notice that something is not right. Hide a 3D button. So what do we have here? I think I need to move, look what is happening. I need to move this bit, this seam I have here, slightly lower because it's pulling up my dress. Let's stimulate. Yeah, I'm stimulating nicely. And even more because it still needs some more. And also, let me see, the green. I'm going slightly down. And also what I need to do is maybe take off a little bit more of the frill. And let's see, 10.8. Let's see what I have here. See green? It's 11, it's not even as it should be, so it's pulling it. That's it. Now because my particle distance is lower, you see how much slower the stimulation is happening. You can always keep it high and change it when you already before you're rendering. So show 3D pattern. That's it. I want to straighten that because I want it to be puffy, this skirt. Beautiful. And now I am unstraighting. Now next let's add a little bow. So I go here, I go trim, bow. We have a big selection of different varieties of bows. I use this one. So I'm going and I load, add, okay. So now here is my bow and I'm taking my bow and I'm placing it, move to here. And click and click. And take it out. Yeah, perfect. And maybe a little bit more out. And maybe one more. Okay. So now where is my bow? Here is my bow. I'm gonna select this bow and I'm basically gonna add, assign to pattern. Yes. Here I just delete unused fabrics and that's it, deleted. Now let's load my scene. I select this scene, which I will change, add, okay. So now I'm not gonna need that. I'm gonna delete that. Alright. Area, I'm gonna change the colors of my scene, okay? I'm gonna make the wall here. That's good, okay. Let's change. I'm gonna move my curtain so it's more visible. Adjust, I want the fabric transparency, so here I want it to be more transparent and I want to change the color and make it Next, I like to change my floor, and I was thinking to make it yellow, but maybe slightly here. You can change it and make it any color you like. I'm just suggesting, and so just so you know that even the scenes, you can adjust them and change them. So now I'm ready for my rendering. I think we are at the final stage. Tools, offline render. Oops. So as I said before, when you're using those scenes, your frame is square. But you can change that to any frame you like. I'm changing it to the one I'm using, maintain ratio. I'm gonna unclick that so I can have different sides, different measurements, 350. Okay, this is my frame. I use, and I can go even lower here. Noise, it depends, you know, as lower you go, the better it is. And I want it to be high quality, my rendering. And let's see what we have on my frame. I press sync and I can actually view what I have here. I want to find my best position, desirable. I want to be able to see a little bit of the flower and just to see also all the arc behind, to be within the frame. I also don't like the glass rendering bowl. I think I'm going to change that. Click on my bowl and I want to make it silk, and that's it. I also want to slightly lean her head. I'm not really sure about my pose. Let me rearrange my avatar because I want her to be a little bit closer to her hand. I have a little more gap than I want to have. Another thing I noticed is that I want my skirt to be slightly shorter at the front. I don't really like, now seeing it again, I don't really like the proportion, so I can just go here and adjust this bit. Okay. And now let's that straightened. Straighten. Let's adjust this a little bit. Make it slightly shorter. I think it's better. And even more, I can go even more. Basically what I don't like is in this part, this side part, like aesthetically, I think I could make it better. I think I'm gonna need to straighten the frame as well, so basically it goes all together. Let's see now how smooth it will. And straighten. That's it, perfect. Also, I want my back stage to be 0.4 wider. Let's make it wider so it's more visible. Yep, so I think we're much better right here. Or sync. Actually unlock my view. Basically I changed it a bit. I didn't really like the wall, the colors and the floor, and I did change them for some brighter versions, and I also changed the hair of the avatar, which I wasn't really happy with. I feel that this is more closer to what I like her to be. I'm gonna lock this view. And when you get your final pose, you just lock the view and go for the final rendering, guys. I think I'm good here. I don't want to change anything else. Let's wait for the final result. And here we come to the end. This is our final rendering. I want to thank you for being with us for this tutorial. Please subscribe to be updated for the upcoming tutorials. I like to make 2 more versions of different dresses using the original blog from the tutorial number 1. I want you, as a homework, I would like you to play a little bit with perhaps with prints, with textiles, just use your imagination also with the scenes that you want to use. And yeah, please tag Cn8 Digital Fashion and Style3D on your creations so we can see them, what you've done. I will be really happy to see the final work of your practice. Thank you for being with us on this tutorial, and see you on our next tutorial.